I don't think it's ever a bad thing to get in touch with how you're feeling, period. You know, as difficult as those feelings can be. And I can't even imagine, Casey, what that sort of grief that you're living with is like. But the one thing that I can promise you would only add insult to injury is you denying yourself the opportunity to grieve, you dismissing those feelings. And I can only imagine, and you certainly wouldn't be the first person, and definitely the first guy, to try desperately to run away from those feelings, to try desperately to like protect yourself from those overwhelming feelings. And it can feel so counterintuitive because that grief is so devastating and it's so overwhelming.
Welcome back to another episode of the No Games, No Filter podcast. If you're new here, thank you. If you are new, please subscribe, follow on all platforms. We do appreciate it. We are trying to push out some good content for you guys. But today I have a special guest, someone that I've been trying to sit down with for a while because due to his background, and I don't want to give him a true intro, I want him to do it himself. So I want to thank everyone. I want everyone to welcome Eddie. Let's go.
The crowd goes wild.
So for everyone who doesn't, I know I love your humor though. So just be yourself,
I can jump into what I do and stuff.
I love your humor, but for everyone who doesn't know you or what you do, what do you do?
So I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I own my own private practice. I provide individual, couples, and family psychotherapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Well, it all started about, 8 years ago now.
Okay.
Jesus. Yeah. It all started about 8 years ago. I mean, that's when I started my Master of Social Work program. But if I were to take it
let's take it back to high school.
Even before that, take it all the way back.
Like when you were graduating, because we all don't know what we're doing when we graduate. So when you graduated as a senior, what did you know what you wanted to study or what did you want to be?
No, man. I mean, my parents have been trying to beat into me the whole be a doctor, be a lawyer thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I was definitely placating them. That's definitely, what I'll do. I probably changed my major 7 different times.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Okay. I mean, there was a point I was even doing accounting.
Numbers. Okay.
I went and tried just about everything. But the reason that I ended up circling back to social work, I guess it's kind of a two-parter. For one, when I was in school, the one major that I could see myself graduating with the most at the time was sociology. I found that to be fascinating.
Okay.
And I would say generally speaking, I was always really interested in psychology. It's funny. I have a lot of, teenager clients now, younger clients who get exposed to it a lot earlier. They're in high school learning about psychology. We don't take Psych 101 until college, but even then, again, I was just really interested in the way the mind works, why we do the things we do. And I just remember thinking to myself, I don't want to teach sociology. So what the hell am I supposed to do with that major if I graduated? I ended up veering towards communications and media productions.
I remember you spoke about that.
Yeah.
Was that your degree at one point?
Right. So I ended up switching majors.
Okay.
Long story short, and graduating in my undergrad in media production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, and I was doing well. Like, I got like the job that everyone was gunning for.
And what was the job?
NBC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was working at NBC or MSNBC.
Nice.
So I'm at Rockefeller Center, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, I made it.
Yeah.
Right. Can I curse, by the way? Or is this like more family friendly? All right. You know, but I was miserable. I was so miserable.
Why is that? Was it the day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care about the news. I didn't care about the news. I think so much of the reason that I even wanted to get into media production was to learn more about like filmmaking and things like that. And mind you, being in the control room was so cool because I want to give a shout out to William Patterson University. They had just built a new TV studio the same year that I was like switching my major. Okay. So it felt serendipitous in that way. Like I was like, oh, like yeah, I guess this is what I'm gonna do. But anyway, you know, I'm kind of having this like existential crisis, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, what the hell am I gonna do then? And I remember volunteering for the Boys and Girls Club when I was in school, just as a counselor. Okay. You know. Yeah. And I loved it. You know, I loved it. And then not to mention, I had also spent a couple of years as a paraprofessional aide working with kids with autism. Nice. And there was something about helping people that just, you know, spoke to me in a way that like nothing else I'd ever done. Almost like a calling? Almost like, yeah. Okay. One would say. Okay. Yeah. And so, you know, I think I was also like going through my own stuff and talking to a therapist and when they told, like I asked them what are you even, like what the heck is a social worker even, and they kind of broke it down to me and I was like, oh shit, that's sort of like what I was looking for when I was a sociology major. Okay. It's like you're able to like actually put the principles into work, and that's not even necessarily like a fair comparison. Like someone who's a sociologist isn't necessarily doing social work, or like you can kind of pick your field in that sense. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's different. It's like totally different. That's just kind of how I related to it. But anyway, that's my story, man. And then it was, you know, the rest is history. Okay. One thing that pointed out to me that you said is right now you're talking to a lot of young people. Yeah. Do you see a lot of the younger generation going through adult problems? Or is it just their own problems, but now it's kind of trickling down to the younger generation? That's a really interesting way to put it. You know, I would say that I spent the past few years working in inner city schools. I like that. And nice. Those kids were for sure dealing with some adult problems. Okay. You know? Yeah. Like those kids really have to grow up fast. And like, funny enough though, I would put so much more trust, or like if I were a betting man and I had to put money on like who is going to turn into a high functioning adult, it would be those kids, because they understand adversity. Yeah. They understand how to develop stress tolerance. And if the environment doesn't eventually get them and they're able to overcome these like crazy, like you wouldn't believe the kind of adversity. That's awesome. Then like those are the future leaders of America. Nice. You know? Nice. So you see a little bit different in those kids. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is it more like a drive to get out of their situation? Yeah. Okay. I think so. And I think like there's a distinction to be made between someone who's naturally ambitious, right? Yeah. I think that's like a character trait versus someone who's forced to be ambitious. Forced to get out of your situation. Right. Okay. Like I think for some people more than others, it ends up being like a survival instinct. No, I do see what you're saying, because there's a drive. There's a different drive when I see certain people who might be an entrepreneur because they want to, right, compared to a person who has to because they need to make money. They need to get out of a certain situation. There's really no option to do anything else, which I do see that a lot. Yeah. And I think oftentimes those are the people who are going to have that extra gear when the going gets tough.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. There was one subject that I wanted to talk to you about because lately on this podcast we've been talking to a lot of men, and a lot of men. It's hard to kind of speak your thoughts sometimes, and it's to kind of come out and speak to somebody. And the question I really have for you is, when it comes to a grown man who's going through life situations, do you recommend that they speak to a therapist? Do they speak to their boys? Do they speak to their wife, their friend? Like, how do you expect a man in this certain environment to kind of get their stuff off their chest? Because that's a tough question, because I even go through that. And I'm not going to lie. There's some days that, I lost my brother and I go into like kind of crying modes. Modes where it's like, I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like I have to kind of sit in this like misery for a little while. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but it helps me kind of get my emotions out, cry over the situation, and just kind of try to move forward with it.
Man. Well, you know,
was that a tough one?
Well, I want to make sure I'm answering each of the things.
Okay.
Each of the different things that you're bringing up. So first, I want to say that I don't think it's ever a bad thing to get in touch with how you're feeling, period. You know, as difficult as those feelings can be. And I can't even imagine, Casey, what that sort of grief that you're living with is like. But the one thing that I can promise you would only add insult to injury is you denying yourself the opportunity to grieve, you dismissing those feelings. And I can only imagine, and you certainly wouldn't be the first person, and definitely the first guy, to try desperately to run away from those feelings, to try desperately to like protect yourself from those overwhelming feelings. And it can feel so counterintuitive because that grief is so devastating and it's so overwhelming, right? To lean in. So if I were to tell you like, no, sit with it, like it's going to be fine, it'd be so hard to believe. Like, what do you mean? Like this hurts so much.
So when you mean don't sit in it, what do you mean by that?
I mean sit, like I'm saying like sit in it.
Okay.
Like don't worry, sit in it. Like
okay.
That's what you should be doing, because and this is the reason it feels so counterintuitive. In every other aspect of our life, we've been trained to avoid pain. Right? If there's a fire,
run away.
Don't touch it. You're gonna get burned. There's no benefit. But the inverse is definitely true when it comes to our feelings. You know, because when we don't allow ourselves to address our feelings, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to process it. Right, and then we ultimately don't give ourselves the chance to experience any relief from it. Let
me ask you this: so when you mean process, so someone just not kind of thinking about the situation and crying is not processing it, or that's not processing.
That's not processing.
So what do you mean? So how would you process it then?
When the feeling comes up, instead of immediately trying to ignore it, you welcome it. You welcome it. Say like, oh, sadness. Like, hey, whoa, what's going on? Talk to me. Like,
but what if you're by yourself in this? Because a lot of times I'm just by myself. I'm just having a moment that I just need to just kind of let it out, and I'm not really trying to hide it. I'm just kind of letting myself cry right now, and then trying to get past it and just try to move forward from there.
And so that's the reason I said, like, I'm glad that you're doing that. Because it sounds like you're becoming more and more comfortable with sitting in this. And engaging with that part of you. which I can only imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree, because also too, and I feel like what's kind of a negative is every single time I go on social media, like my emotions go up and down. You have a fun video, then you have a sad video, then you have a fun video, then you have a freaking sad video all over again. So it's like, I don't want to be sad, but how can I not be sad when someone's seeing their brother who's been in the service for 4 years come home? Like, it's just your emotions are always up and down, and then it kind of triggers me to kind of think about the stuff going on in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, you took the thought right out of my head.
Yeah.
Man, like, you must be, and you're definitely not alone in this, but for that specific reason, you must be getting triggered, like, all the time.
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah.
I try not to,
You're just sitting there, like,
because I don't always think of it as a negative thing, and when it happens, I think about, okay, I remember everything that was positive, so it's not always a negative emotion.
I see.
It's always like, oh, I remember that, or oh, I wish I could have did that, but it's always not negative. You know, so I don't always look at it like that.
And that's I'm so glad we're talking about this. That's the flip side of it.
Yeah.
That's the flip side of it, right?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes what ends up happening is when you dismiss your grief, not only are you dismissing your sadness, but you're dismissing the other parts.
The memory almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's what's so important about leaning into the feeling, is you really give yourself the opportunity to honor the person that you lost.
No, I agree, because I heard someone on a podcast, and the gentleman might have been about 50, and he was like, he asked a question. He said to the 50-year-old, are you still grieving your mother? And he was like, my mother died 20 years ago, and I'm still grieving her today. Like, that emotion is always going to be there, and it'll never go away. And it's a positive thing, because he made it sound like, I'm never going to forget her. That emotion is always going to be in my body, because I don't want to forget her. And I thought that was like I just thought that was a strong statement that he said.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so circling back to your original question of, what was it? Something about like guys.
So when it comes to like gentlemen who like, so the last was we had a gentleman come on, and he spoke a lot about how some of us don't have the right friend in our friend group to express our feelings for, because they may call us soft, weak, blah 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 blah. We all just don't have that outlet. Right. And it's kind of difficult in a sense.
Yeah, man, it's hard. Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard. And I think it speaks to the way that men develop friendships versus the way that women develop friendships. Yeah. Right. I think that men, generally speaking, aren't necessarily bonding emotionally. Yeah, for
like
sure. The way that women are.
Yeah, it's a lot of surface level. A lot of we have certain things in common. So now we're friends. So
yeah. And so as we get older, And this isn't me even necessarily like hating on that kind of friendship, because I very much think those, like, you can call them like surface level friendships, like they definitely have a place in our life. Yeah, right. For sure, 100%. You know, like
you always have to have different type of friends for different situations.
Yes, man. And as we get older, I think it's really, really important for us to be able to check in with ourselves and take inventory of who's in our life, how they're contributing to our life. Yeah, right? For sure. Because that happens all the time in my practice. People just, because they've been friends with someone for like 20 plus years, right? They mistake them for their like best friend.
But that friend does not really give you any value. Exactly. Yeah, and just because that person's around, that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah. Because the bond that you shared, like, you know, playing football together, isn't the same kind of bond you're going to share when you're going through a divorce. You know, like,
no. Yeah, you're right, because a lot of people, they start moving different directions, and you got to start kind of chilling and speaking to people who move in the same direction as you. Right. Like, I always go back to I have a friend, Josh, who is one of my few day ones who we currently are still moving in the same direction. Success, finance. We're still talking about this and that. So it's like he's around, but then you have other guys who I speak to here and there. but they've all kind of gone in a different direction because everyone's doing different stuff.
Yeah.
So a little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah. And I think, and sometimes, man, all it takes is having one Josh.
One Josh.
One Josh will take you a long way in life. Like, seriously.
That's also for people, men, women who are struggling, because I hear it a lot, who's struggling with depression. Like, I heard this statement on a podcast, and I didn't want to look side to it, but he was 19 and he was talking about he was going through depression, and I'm like, have you really lived life already to be going through a depression? So I didn't want to make a judgment on him because he was going through something. But for someone who is going through, do you have any tips, or do you recommend they speak to a certain person to kind of get over this?
Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to what you're saying insofar as, like, you are going to have your own understanding of what it means to suffer because of the personal experiences and adversities that you've gone through. They're personal to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, like, that kid, like, losing his first football game, that might be the worst thing that's ever happened to him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
That might be the worst thing that's ever happened to him. But you just don't know what a person is going through. You don't know what kind of supports they have in their life, what kinds of, like, beliefs they have about themselves, about the world, about people. And it's for that reason that, you know, I think I would much rather that, like, depression become a word that's played out.
Okay, I like that.
Because it's reflective of how comfortable people are talking about how they feel.
I like that statement.
Yeah. And for me, like, that's never going to be a bad thing. That's never going to be a bad thing. I along with, like, anyone over 30 could talk all day about how soft kids are growing up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all due respect to all, like, anyone under 30, under 25, 20, whatever gen we're on, Y, Z,
yeah,
X.
anybody born in the 2000s.
Yeah, all due respect.
Yeah.
But, like, of course, our parents said that about us, and their parents said that
it's
about
always
them.
A trigger.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like, at the end of the day, if you aren't feeling happy with your life, how could it possibly hurt to talk to a professional to, at the very least, see if they have some kind of insight that you might otherwise not have had?
Let me ask you this. Are there signs that if I'm going through it, I may see, or if I have a friend who may be going through it that I may see, just warning signs?
Yes and no. I mean, I think, like, if we're just talking about depression explicitly,
there's that right now.
It's going to show up in different ways. But here's the tricky thing about it is, you know, if a person is already feeling alone, right, and already feeling like they can't talk to anyone about how they're feeling, then what are the chances that they're going to be transparent with you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, odds are they're just going to keep up that facade. They're going to continue to act the way they think they're supposed to act.
Like putting a shield on?
Exactly.
Okay.
In order to survive.
Okay.
Right? But, you know, like, the telltale warning signs are definitely, like, isolation, right? If someone that you love all of a sudden isn't answering the phone as often, you know, they're starting to get more reclusive. I would definitely make that extra effort to reach out. You know, sleep is being affected, right? They're not able to sleep as much, or they're sleeping too much. Is definitely, you know, one of the symptoms. But generally speaking, when you see someone and they're just, like, not looking great, they don't have energy, the things that they love or used to love to do, they just don't enjoy doing them anymore. And again, I think the biggest one is going to be isolation and not reaching out as much. And,
okay.
you know.
That's a tough one, yeah. 'Cause I feel like we all kind of go through periods of isolating ourselves just because we might be going through life. Because life is just rough sometimes. So.
Yeah, and that's the other tough thing is, I think that, circling back to how this affects guys, is as a good friend, you might even feel uncomfortable making that extra effort to your guy friend.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's why depression or any mental illness can be, I think, especially insidious when it comes to men, because of how just how uncomfortable we feel connecting.
Let me ask you this. It's in the same topic, but I've had this, no shade to my wife, we moved past this already, but there's been times in the past where I felt like I had a safe place in my wife. I opened up, we spoke about something, argument came up, that got thrown in my face, then I shut down completely. And I feel like with a lot of men, I've heard it too, a lot of men, they say it happens, that as soon as the wife throws it back in our face, they'll never hear us say a word to them again about a real emotional problem in our life. And it's hard to get by. Like, how do you feel like, do you, for example, have you heard of many cases in your experience in couples, individuals happening like that?
Yeah.
You know, I know it happens in a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
And I know you can move past it because I've moved past it, but like, I know it happens a lot.
No, for sure. And I just want to start by saying that I love my fiance, you know, and our relationship is perfect. No, but it's a tough one, you know. And I think that I want to give women some grace here, because in so many ways I don't think that they would be able to fully appreciate how much more difficult it is for us to be vulnerable with them and share our feelings. Right? Yeah. And so for them, it just might not even seem as big of a deal, right? Or it might not even seem to be as much of a dagger as it feels to us.
Yeah, it hurts.
Right? Yeah. It doesn't justify it whatsoever. And, you know, when I'm working with people who are trying to have more open communication in their relationship, one of the things that I make sure to prep them on is that it isn't going to go smoothly. It's not going to go smoothly. Right? And it's not going to be perfect. And moreover, especially if you're the person, right, recognizing that, like, hey, I want to make this change in my relationship. I want to feel more connected to my partner. We've never been able to do this well. You know? I really prep the person I'm working with to take a leadership role. Okay. In these sort of like open communication, like vulnerable sessions that you're having with your partner. Because a lot of the time, what that dynamic looks like is two people fighting with one another. You know, one person says something, the other person gets defensive, they get defensive, so the other person gets defensive, and no one's actually hearing each other. Yeah, it's a bunch of yelling over top of each other. Exactly. It takes at least one person, right, in this dynamic to be able to take the blow and say, hey, now, like, that wasn't nice. Right? Yeah. That wasn't nice. Like, can we start over?
Yeah. I had problems in the past where I would take the blow and just start counting the blows.
Right.
And that was unhealthy because it would cause me to then blow up after a certain amount. After I got tired of number 10, 11, I'm fed up. And that was super unhealthy to do.
Right. Yeah. And you think that you're being, like, the word coming to mind for me is courageous. Like you think that you're doing the right thing by like dismissing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right?
I think I am sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Let me not make a deal about it and let me just accept the blow and just start ticking it off a list.
Right. yeah. But that's the problem, right? It doesn't go anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't go anywhere.
And normally it doesn't stop it either.
No.
It doesn't.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Because how could it? How could it possibly?
It's not fixing anything.
Right, because if you aren't addressing it, then you're not even giving the other person an opportunity to take accountability.
Yeah, very true.
Right. But that's the scary thing. That's the scary part of the confrontation is, you know, after we address it, like, are you going to be able to take accountability? And if not, what does that mean about us?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what can make every argument in a couple feel so tense, is you almost always feel like the relationship is on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always feel like you just right over the edge.
Yeah.
Right over the edge, and it's like, ooh, that's a terrible feeling to have. Yeah, that's a terrible feeling to have. Let's move a little bit differently now. So I have a phrase that's been thrown around the internet a lot. Emotional unavailability. How do you feel about that word, that phrase that I hear a lot online?
Well, emotional unavailable, like I definitely hear that being thrown around a lot. Maybe like women talking about men that they're dating. You know, like, oh, he's emotionally unavailable.
But is that a bad thing, that you might have a man that's just kind of a wall? In a sense?
Yeah, it's always bad.
Always bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Just asking for a friend.
No, because I hear it a lot, and it's like they don't want to give up too much. They just want to give them a little bit, but not give them the whole pack. It's almost like how we just spoke about. It's not giving up everything because I don't want you to see who I fully am, because you may not fully like me.
Right. Yeah. And it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there in that way. But, you know, I can totally appreciate why anyone would be hesitant to do so. Right? Because all you're focusing on is the potential rejection that may follow. But the one thing that I think really gets lost in translation is just how much that could potentially benefit the relationship. As in? Well, you think you guys are good now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And you're only giving like some of yourself. Yeah. Can you imagine how good the relationship could potentially be if you gave all of yourself? Yeah. How connected you could feel? How seen you would feel?
Yeah.
Right?
But I think the man or female doesn't want to give up that almost power. I feel like, because it's like a power to hold over your partner. Like, hey, I want to give you all, but I choose not to because
you're not behaving yourself.
Maybe it's almost, it's like I said, it's almost like, hey, I might be a little weird, and if I give you my weirdness, please don't go. And I feel like it causes men or females to build that wall. And I always kind of wondered why that wall is being built already. Is it because of past trauma? Or what if a person has no trauma and just normally it just built that wall? I don't know why that wall is normally there in the beginning stages when it doesn't normally have to be there.
I don't know either.
You don't know either, right?
I think there are so many different factors that could cause someone to be defensive or just, you know, generally closed off. But I don't know if, I guess, I just don't see the benefit. I don't see the benefit. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think there are like enough examples of relationships where where both partners are really in tune with one another and like really connected. Okay. And what I mean by that is like we definitely grew up on on your like typical sort of I guess you could call it like patriarchal understanding of like what a relationship is supposed to look like, where
very true.
Where like
the provider,
right,
maybe the stay-at-home mom,
but it's beyond that.
Correct.
It's what you said. It's like the guy that's kind of a wall, right? He's sort of like the stoic, you know, doesn't really show his feelings, and then his emotional wife, you know, that's kind of like fawning over him, like, oh, my big strong man, you know. But I think that's part of, I think in so many ways, I think that's part of like this, like cultural revolution, or like, I guess you call it like a sexual revolution, or just a lot of the growth that I'm seeing in people is the way that they're redefining strength, what it means to be strong.
I would say that I see. I'm gonna create this word myself, but the soft man generation, the generation of a man who can now talk his feelings out, rather than putting up that wall and just kind of, you know, that's I like that. I like that.
Because to me, like, avoiding a feeling is easy. You're cowering from it. The hard thing to do is be vulnerable. That's difficult. That takes strength. You know, that takes courage.
I like that.
But also like, if your partner sucks,
that too.
You know?
That's I mean, that's over the top, but if your partner does suck.
If your partner sucks, if they're not showing you, if they're not giving you any indication that they want to know you, then the bigger conversation to have is like, why am I with this person? And why am I withholding for the sake of, you know, pleasing somebody that doesn't want to know me and doesn't want to connect with me?
Very true. I like that.
You know?
Very true. What's one habit someone can start today that can be a little more emotional present?
I mean,
at home, relationship.
I think it speaks to what you were bringing up earlier, man, and just like sitting with your feelings. Making a practice of that. Because hey, when happiness strolls around, right? Like, you're more than happy to let him in. You know?
Very true.
Happiness, excitement, joy. You know, you're not closing the door. But to open the door when sadness is knocking, when anger is knocking, when frustration, that I think is going to take some conscious effort. I always like to go back to, I use the gym as like my outlet for my stress, for like my what I like to say, my think tank, where it's like, that's kind of my everything. And the why I kind of dig so deep into it in my personal life is because what mentally it does for me. And I feel like a lot of men need that kind of outlet, and the gym is my outlet to think about life, kids, relieve stress, not think about what day-to-day stuff is, because a lot of times it's a struggle for me, because I let the day-to-day or what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to achieve mess up my mental, where I'm like, I'm not here, I'm not there, but the gym kind of gives me that, don't think about anything for 2 hours. And and to me, it's a healthy thing, where I could just kind of just poof, and then, but it all hits me right after those 2 hours. Like, dang, I'm right back into the mix. But it's kind of my healthy outlet. Yeah, we all need that break.
Right.
We all need that break.
But someone who doesn't go to the gym, what's that healthy outlet for them? Like, what's your healthy outlet?
Definitely the gym.
Yeah.
There was a time where I got like way too caught up with work, and, you know, I just felt awful. I felt terrible.
Okay.
You know? And it just took me taking inventory of like, okay, well, what am I doing every day? Like,
are you sitting in something?
Right, yeah. Like so I'm spending 7 hours glued to a screen.
Like, you're like doom scrolling or something like that?
No, man. Like, I mean,
not you personally, but someone likes to sit in that for hours and wonder why. Oh, I'm living through someone else's life, but I freaking hate my own life.
Right. Yeah. And so for sure, like, go and like move your legs, go outside, like experience the sunlight on your skin.
It's amazing, amazing.
But for sure, I think, and like I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking to like the I don't know, the science of it, but man, is there something about like having a hard workout, like a hard workout,
pushing your body to the limit, feeling it,
not just some like, okay, like
I did something, but it's not,
no,
I didn't,
like go die,
see,
like start to see black,
like I almost about to pass out. I like
go
that
right
feeling.
up to the edge.
Right there, and I'm like, let me catch myself before I pass out, because that movement was just so good, and I feel like a lot more people need that outlet, because I feel like when they don't, they turn to bad things,
Yeah, man. Right. Because I mean, I guess it's tough to say that like working out is a form of escapism. But if we were to make that argument, boy, are there worse
outlets than that, right?
Boy, are there worse versions of that, man.
Yeah. No, that's a tough one. For someone who is that, do you have any recommendations besides the gym? Do you recommend anything? Journaling, thinking about your thoughts out loud when you don't have that type of outlet.
Yeah, I love recommending journaling.
Okay.
But I think the larger sort of like outlets or things that you need to make sure that you're that are a part of your life is like physical activity for sure. It doesn't have to be the gym. It could be a sport, or like honest to God, like even if you're just going out for a walk.
That does a lot. People be surprised how good walks are.
Yes. Yeah. Love a good walk. But the other element to that could like seriously affect your mental health is what we were talking about earlier, isolation.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. So anything, like everything and anything that is going to involve being part of a community, just having a social outlet. I
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even if of course, like the goal is to start making friends, start surrounding yourself with people that feel good to be around, people that you grow connections with, which by the way is a lot harder the older that we get, right?
Why do you say that? I feel like it's a little easier especially because what I want to ask you was, I feel like it's easier for a man to make a new friend in life than a female. And I hear a lot is because men don't bring emotion into things and women bring emotion into things that will cause them not to like each other.
I think you're hitting it on the head.
Okay.
I think you're hitting it on the head. I think that, I guess I'll even just speak from personal experience. It has been easy for me to like make those surface level connections with someone. It's been really, really difficult to meet someone that I eventually feel comfortable being vulnerable with.
That's a different.
Yeah.
That's different. That's completely
right.
I'm not even talking about that. That's completely different. Yeah.
And for that reason, but you won't even give yourself the opportunity to
because you don't know the person's reaction.
Well, that's the fear, right? But the first step is is just to put yourself in a situation that you can keep showing up to and keep building on that surface level friendship to the point that you feel comfortable and they feel comfortable, or what have you. When we were younger, like, man, like, we were all emotional wrecks.
Oh yeah,
you know,
sure. Thinking about life, thinking about this, that.
I just think it was that much easier to make quick friends, and then plus you were always with each other all the time.
Very true.
You know,
very true.
So like 1 week with someone is like actually like 120 hours worth of time, right? Versus, you know, someone you might meet today. It would take a while to get there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I wanted to share this with you. I wanted to shout out TAPS. TAPS is the organization that reached out to me when I lost my brother. They help out with military families who have lost a loved one. So they do a lot of outreach. They do a lot of they just do a lot of activities for people to go to and just to remember their person. And I've been a pleasure to kind of been with them in a couple different events. And it helped because it gave me an opportunity to remember my brother fully in the moment, but it hurts right after. And it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm not really comfortable talking about him to strangers. That's kind of one thing I still stay away from.
Yeah.
To my wife, not even too much to my dad, because I just don't want to trigger emotions. But the organization really helped me kind of remember him and just kind of keep him alive, which I just wanted to give a shout out to, because I really enjoy that with them.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah. Shawnee's definitely told me about that. Your dad's talked to me about that program too. He's mentioned like a couple of trips that he's been able to go on. Yeah,
he went to a men's retreat. Yeah, and he talks about that one a lot. That one that meant a lot to him. I wish I would have went, but I also wouldn't have felt comfortable speaking when I went to the event. Yeah, I just like to keep my stories of my memory to myself. Yeah, it's not like a negative thing, like I'm trying to hold him, but like I have an image of what I remember, and I want to kind of keep that to myself. Yeah, and not share it. So, but I always kind of like them for kind of reaching out to us and keeping them alive in a sense. So that was a positive thing.
No, it's important, man.
Yeah, closing out to the end. Got a couple more questions, and then we're going to end with a rapid fire. Okay. So for you, what, and this is kind of, these are general questions. What does healing look for you when someone comes to you and they're going through everything and they're in that healing process? It could be a divorce, you know, whatever emotional things they might be going through. What does healing look like?
Pain. Yeah.
Okay.
Healing looks painful. And I guess the way that pain is going to manifest is going to be a little bit different for everyone. But I think that the sooner that you can grow comfortable with that pain, the sooner you are able to embrace the pain, the better off you're going to be. And because it's only going to allow you to do, you know, what we've been talking about, which is to like lean in to the difficult moments.
That's rough.
And challenges that are going to cause you, if you're really devoted to this growth that you're searching for, you know, step outside of your comfort zone in a lot of different ways. So I know someone is on the right track when they're in pain, you know, and they're really feeling it. Those are some of the more difficult, but some of them I guess you could say like most fulfilling sessions that I have with people. Yeah.
Can someone heal without therapy?
I mean, I guess so. The reason someone is coming to therapy is probably because they haven't been able to do it on their own. You know? So I mean, I'll speak even for myself. I'm so grateful to be in this role. It has allowed for me to help a lot of people. It's allowed for me to learn a lot about people, but also about myself. And so, sure, I'm able to utilize a lot of those different like tools, coping mechanisms, like principles and what have you, to and apply it to myself for sure. It's always a work in progress. But I've also definitely needed that outside help, because when you're so close to a problem, it's really, really hard to see it, to really see it.
Yeah,
You're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a timetable?
Yes and no. I mean, I would say that you might have like an immediate stressor in your life, right? So let's say, for example, you're experiencing a lot of issues in your relationship. If you're able to commit a good chunk of time and energy, like really able to focus your time and energy in a concerted way towards this one stressor in your life, I guarantee you within a few months, you're going to be able to find relief from it, but oftentimes, like, you peel one layer of the onion
and there's more,
and you realize, oh shit,
there's more.
There's a lot to this. There's a lot more to this than I initially thought. And that is, again, if you really want to make that commitment, that's when you start to hear people talking about like, oh yeah, I've been in therapy for years, right?
Is that a good thing though? Because does that, in my eyes, I feel like if you've been talking to the same person for 3 years, either you just like talking to them,
right,
or you have not figured anything out, right?
So I think
just from the outside looking in,
that's so fair. That's so fair. I think both can be true. Right? Like, I like to make the comparison sometimes to someone signing up for physical training, right?
So they never stay with it.
Right? Like, you could just keep your trainer around for as long as you want, because you're going to get better workouts with your trainer.
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole reason that they're there. If they're a good trainer,
they'll be getting you some good results.
Yes, naturally. And so for that reason alone, if A, it's within your budget, and B, you really like your trainer.
Yeah,
right?
Usually you probably like your trainer personally, so you keep going back to him or her. Yeah.
Exactly. Like naturally you're going to develop that bond.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about life, man. Like it keeps going until it doesn't.
Yeah.
It keeps going until it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a train that never stops moving.
Yeah.
I always say that, and it's like I don't say it as a negative thing, but since having my son, like, I can't get a break from, there's no real stop on this train.
Right.
It just keeps going, and the brakes never go, and it's like, oh man, it's gonna be forever. Yeah, man. It is what it is, and I love it, but I know in my head I keep it as, this train's gonna be going forever. Right.
And so I think that's such an important shift to make in your perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer about, by the end of this 4-year period, I'll have my diploma.
No end to anything.
No, man. No. It's like, that's your child.
Care for him for the rest of his life.
And now you're in it forever.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one big misconception of therapy? What's one big misconception of therapy?
I think the one you mentioned is a big one. I think if I'm remembering conversations I'll still have with, like, some of, like, the older men in my family, they'll say things like, oh, why would I need to talk to somebody? I can just talk to, like X, Y, or Z. Like I could talk to a
Yeah.
friend. I could talk to I don't know. I think that on some level there is still that I guess you could call it like taboo, like, oh, like what does that say about you that you need to talk to someone? You know,
look at it as a negative thing.
Yeah. I think it's hard to conceptualize how much the relationship that you build with another person can be inherently therapeutic. I think it's hard to conceptualize that in the same way that like the healing that you receive from a doctor isn't through the 5 minutes you spend with them in the, you know, right? Like they give you the medicine, they give you the drugs, you take the drugs, you feel better.
Yeah.
Right? And I think because it's not so tangible, if you haven't experienced it yourself, I could totally appreciate why it would feel like, you know, bullshit, basically.
Okay. You might have answered this already, but what's one thing that you wish everyone understood about mental health?
I guess it might be this, that there's no such thing as normal.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because we're all a little different.
Yeah, there's no such thing as normal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I still come across a lot of people who are self-conscious about their anxieties, self-conscious about their depression, self-conscious about their feelings and what have you. So it's bad enough that they're suffering.
Yeah.
Right? But now they're judging their suffering.
Right. That's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So if everyone could step into the process, at the very least feeling comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and, you know, just experiencing whatever they're experiencing, I think it would definitely help. You know, it would definitely help to just start off on a better foot.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
I like that answer. So, as in most episodes, we ended with a rapid fire. So the rapid fire is going to be within the same topics, subject. For you, you're going to say which one you prefer. So it's kind of yay or nay.
Okay.
If you need to elaborate, we'll elaborate and go into it. But it's like, hey, do you like sugar or do you like Splenda? It's which one do you prefer?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start this off as...
I'm already like locked in.
All right, cool. So it's very light. It's very light.
About it. Okay,
I like to keep it very light. So first question, as an example, do you prefer talking or texting?
Talking.
Therapy or journaling?
I guess I'll go therapy because I feel like journaling is therapeutic. It's like a part of it.
I know.
And then like,
nice.
who am I to, if I pick journaling, like what kind of asshole would I be? Like sitting across from you talking about how great therapy is, but go ahead.
Got you. Progress or perfection?
Progress.
I like that one. Listening or giving advice?
Listening.
Listening. Okay. Logic or emotion?
Ooh.
I like to think with logic.
Man.
Emotion's going to be in this decision a little bit because it has to be. But logic is where I'm at with that.
Damn. I mean, the guy in me.
Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Like if you're just talking to Ed right now.
I know what you want to say. Just go ahead and say it.
But. Okay, I'm going to say emotion. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm going to say emotion because I think it can help you find logical clarity.
I got you.
I think emotions can get in the way of logic. So if you don't address your emotions, then how can you hope to be, logical?
I like that. I like that.
Just aced that, bro.
I like that. I like it. I like it. I don't have anything to say to that. I like it. All right, going to the next one. Self-care or self-discipline?
Oh, wow.
See,
I'm going to go self-discipline.
Yeah, I feel like not a lot of people are disciplined.
Yeah.
They lack it, or they don't understand what it is.
Right. And again, like my previous answer, if you don't have the discipline, then you aren't going to be able to truly practice the self-care that you need.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to do, or else you'd be doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or everyone would be doing everything.
Exactly.
Forgiving or closure?
I think forgiving.
Okay.
Forgiving, I think. And I appreciate that there's definitely a distinction there. I think when people think of closure, they think of like
closing the book.
Right. And typically they think of what the other person says and that's the beauty of forgiveness, is you don't need the other person involved. No, you get to find a relief on your own.
Yeah, you get to pick your own emotion.
Right.
I like that.
And that's just so much more powerful.
I like that. Bonding or people pleasing?
Bonding.
Okay. Healing or happiness?
Healing.
Okay. Self-awareness or self-confidence?
Self-awareness, because again, you need one for the other.
Yeah, it's kind of entwined.
Because if you don't have awareness, you aren't confident. You're arrogant.
I like that.
Yeah. I think true confidence requires like a substantial understanding of yourself and of your ability.
Okay. You said you like to work out, so walks or gym workouts?
I'm going to say, here's why I'm going to say walk. I'm going to say walk just because it's so much more accessible. I personally I'm bad at doing the gym.
Consistently?
Yeah, I'm bad at it because I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
I live it. It's like something that if I don't get it, I start itching.
Right. I wish I felt that way. I wish I was so like talking about self-motivated in that way, or self-disciplined in that way. And I can be, but it needs to be towards a greater goal. So if you were to tell me like, Ed, I already signed us both up for Mr. Olympia. I mean, you already have like such a head start on me, but bro, I'd immediately end
I'll sign you up for something. I'm trying to do some tough mutters and stuff.
Let me tell you something. I'd immediately end this interview and I'd go to the gym. I need that thing. Okay. I need that thing.
I got you.
To like fuel me.
I used to motivate myself with the vacations I was going on. So when I was younger, because I went on vacation, like let's say every 6 months, I would give myself 6 months to prepare for something. Yeah. And that's how I was able to keep myself going. I would in my head say, okay, when I was trying to do my videos on YouTube, I would say, oh, I'm 6 months out, time to get right for vacation. Oh, another 6 months, time to get right. And that's how I kept going. Now I don't need it anymore. Right. Now I just kind of live my life and have the drive already. But when I was younger, I needed that. 6 months, 4 months, 2 months out. I needed that.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine now how much fatherhood is a motivation for you.
100%. Yeah. It's grind mode all the time, every time.
Yeah. I can only imagine just how that's got to be like the biggest motivator.
Yeah, he gives me less time to do things, so now I gotta go and get it done. Yeah, and then get back. Right. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I need the competition, or else I
like that. Yeah, I know a lot of people do. Yeah. This is kind of in the same genre, but meditation or exercise.
Damn. I'm going to say exercise on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say exercise. I think exercise can be a kind of meditation.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
I
think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. But if I had to choose, or I had to prescribe it to someone,
exercise.
I'm telling you, go exercise.
Yeah.
Make sure your body's right.
Also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the last one is because this is something that I've picked up over the last year and a half, 2 years. Books or podcasts?
I damn.
And I'm okay with audiobooks as well, because I do a lot of audiobooks.
I think that there are some podcasts, like I'm so grateful for the advent of podcasts, because I've been able to learn so much more than I otherwise would have through reading. And not because I necessarily like don't like to read. I just think that it's a little bit more difficult. Like you have to go out of your way to find that book. And you know, with like anything that you could possibly even think to imagine or explore at our fingertips. Yeah. Podcasts are just so much more accessible because of that.
And so much is every week is so much information that's given to you.
With that said though, like, man, it's hard to compete with a good book. It's hard to compete with a good book. Someone that like spent like years crafting like all of these different like thoughts and ideas onto the page. Again, you just can't compete with that the same way someone just like, and it depends on the podcast too, because you might have that guy that wrote that book on someone's podcast and it's fascinating to hear him talk about the topic. But even then it's like this, it can be a pale comparison to the actual book. But then, so I'm a little torn on it. Long story short, I'm going to go podcast.
You go podcast?
Yeah.
Is there any podcast you're listening to right now?
I'll tell you, man. Not religiously. Not religiously. Like on my downtime, I think, because outside of like, there's definitely like mental health oriented.
Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of the podcast, the Dr. John Deloney Show? That's a podcast. Check it out. That's a podcast I started listening to probably a couple weeks ago. And he goes, and it's a little bit of different headspace you have to be in, because he starts talking about people's difficult times in life. Either they're going through a divorce, or they're going through a sexless marriage, or like I told you before, the 19-year-old going through depression. Right. So he kind of gives these people half hour to speak their piece. Maybe he can give you advice, or maybe he can't. But that podcast I found a couple weeks ago, I started to really enjoy it.
Yeah, send it to me.
Sure.
Yeah,
I started to enjoy that one a lot.
Yeah, but otherwise, like, that's my day-to-day. Like, when I log off, man, like, I want 90 Day Fiance.
I can't do those.
You know, I want 90 Day Fiance.
I want sports. I just want sport. I'm just waiting for football. I just want sports.
The World Cup was so cool. It was just on, or just Pokemon, man. That's my go-to right now. Nice. Yeah, I'm in deep with Pokemon. Yeah, I have to feel super nostalgic.
No, I have to get back to that. One of my favorite shows that I'm waiting for season 2 is Yu Yu Hakusho. When they had the live one on Netflix.
The live action,
Yeah, I've been waiting for season 2.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of my favorite series I've seen back in the day. My little brother got me onto that. Yeah. And that's one of my favorite shows.
Yu Yu Hakusho's good.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Funko Pops of those.
He's the detective, right?
Yeah, he's like, he died and
right. He's like the spirit detective or something like that.
There you go, spirit detective. Yeah, one of my favorite ones of all time. One of my favorite ones of all time.
Yu Yu Hakusho is good.
Yeah. So to close it out, do you have anything to say? Any last remarks?
I don't know. You know, call your parents, guys. Call your parents. Send them some love. For the most part, I'm sure they love you. Unless you have like, you know, a traumatic relationship with them, that might feel a little more complicated. But if you have a decent relationship with them, they're not going to be around forever. Yeah. I love you, Mom.
Nice. I like that. Call your parents, guys, because if you talk to them once a month, that's 12 times a year. It's not enough.
Yeah.
not enough. But
yeah, that's real.
It is real. But Eddie, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. I feel like this is a great episode where people can kind of take some from, learn a little bit of things. If you do need a therapist, he's available. If you...
I love you, Dad, too. I didn't want you to feel left out. I didn't want you to feel left out. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem.
Yeah.
If you need someone to talk to, guys, there's always someone to talk to. And I'll leave it like that. Thank you, guys. If you're new again, please subscribe. Follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts at. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.